the Rochester Public Library. FFRPL is the 501c3 charity that expands the Rochester Public Library's community impact through fundraising, marketing, and programming. We also provide financial and supplemental material support to libraries in 7 counties through restricted funds. Welcome to Tuesday Topics, one of FFRPL's legacy programs. We ask that you please silence your cell phones at this time. Our thanks go to those who help fund programs like these through FFRPL, the dedicated FFRPL committee members who curate and organize these events, our guest speakers who so graciously share their time and talents with us, the library staff who help with our setup and production, and the thousands of people who attend each year, in person and online. We are live streaming the formal portion of today's program to the library's YouTube channel. If you're looking to access the induction loop service in the auditorium, please adjust your hearing aid to the T switch. Our 3 talks for January's Tuesday Topics series focus on the library's role in the community, in the past, present, and also looking ahead to the future. Next week, on January 13th, Bree Harrison, RPL Capital Projects Manager, and Katie Hesselwander, Manager of Library Finance for both RPL and the Monroe County Library System, will give a joint talk on the history of the Rundell Library. The following Tuesday, on January 20th, B.J. Scanlon, RPL's Deputy Director for Community Libraries, will give a talk on the Maplewood Branch's renovation, as well as the library's new Northeast branch, slated to open in 2027. Today, Emily Klasper, Director of the Rochester Public Library and Monroe County Library System, will launch our 2026 series with a talk about the library's Beyond Books collections that are available for in-house use or checkout with your library card. Libraries in the modern era offer so much more than books and movies. As Emily herself mentioned during a podcast with your friendly neighborhood librarians, quote, "Libraries are an important part of our community and our culture. I have devoted my entire professional career to bringing information and resources and the things that people need to live a better life to my community." Some of the library's resources Emily mentions today might be familiar to you, and some might be a new surprise. Please join me in welcoming RPL MCLS Library Director Emily Klasper to our podium.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here today. This is such a lovely treat in the middle of the day to come and talk to some fellow library lovers. Something I love to do. So, as Susan said, my name is Emily Klasper, and I am the director of the Rochester Public Library and Monroe County Library System. And if we have not met before, it's so good to meet you now. I've been here for just coming up on a year in this position now. I can't believe it. 2026 already, right? Where does the time go? But I'm so glad to be here. It is such a blessing to be able to be part of this organization and this community and bring all of the things that I love to this community and work together to try to make this wonderful place even better for all of us. So, a big part of my job, what a good job I have, right? A big part of my job is talking to lots and lots of people about libraries. I love it. And not just the Rochester Public Library, and not just the libraries in the Monroe County Library System, and not just the libraries in New York State, but public libraries in general, and all of the things that we do and we have to offer to our communities. It's a beautiful thing. But a lot of times, I'm going to get a little anecdotal to start here. A lot of times when I'm talking to people about libraries out in the community, and I'm not talking about all of you because I see library lovers here. You know your libraries, right? I'm looking at you, Jim. You know your libraries and what we have to offer. But a lot of the folks out there that I'm talking to, they maybe don't know libraries as well, and so I'm out there to kind of educate them about it. And when I talk to them about libraries, what do lot of people, what's the first thing they think about? Hello? Yeah. Sometimes that's the only thing that they think about is books. I talk to people and I say, I work at a library, and they say, oh, that's so lovely, all those books. You know, isn't it nice you get to read all day? Everybody here, for those of you watching the recording, everyone here laughed. Right? Yeah. I'll tell you right now, in close to 25 years in this profession, I have never had a quiet day where I've read all day. It's never happened. Right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because here's the thing. If you really are looking at libraries and all you see is books, that's just the teeniest, tiniest tip of that iceberg. And if you start to look underneath, there's so much more. But what is that other stuff? So today what I'm going to talk about is some of that other stuff, and I'm going to warn you ahead of time about a couple of things. One, as I'm going to go super fast, you're going to think, who is this manic woman who sounds like an auctioneer at the auction house, going through all of these different things? And it's okay if you miss something, because the point is we have so much going on, and you can always come back and ask us about it, because we are so happy to share this with everybody. We're so proud of what we do. We love sharing it with the world and with our community. So I'm just warning you, I'm gonna go fast. It's gonna be wild, and there's a lot of stuff. I will also warn you that I'm not gonna hit everything. I'm sure I forgot something, because there is so much that we do. The bottom of that iceberg is enormous. All right, so it's 2026. How did we get here? But public libraries in 2026 do so much. I cannot say that enough. Of course, we got our books. And actually, I do get people who say to me, do you still have books? Of course we still have books. We love our books. I read 110 books last year. Right? Everybody goes, how'd you have the time? The secret, audiobooks, 1.7 times speed. I drive a lot between libraries. But books, yes, of course we have books. We love our books. And we also have lots of other resources, like the things that we're checking out to people, right? And this is the stuff that's kind of still, if you press people a little bit, they say, oh yeah, you have magazines, you've got DVDs, media, you've got DVDs, you've got CDs, you've got, all the other kind of media items that you've got there. You got documents, you got records, all that local history that you've got going on. You've got different data and information. People generally know about that if you poke them a little bit. And if you poke them a little bit more, they know, they might not know the words for it, but they know that we have these lovely people there who you can ask questions of, and they'll help you find the answers. They know that we have events and classes and programs, and they know that you can go there and use the space. Oh yeah, I go there to do my work. They know we have spaces, right? A lot of times, though, that's where the knowledge kind of either ends or pretty close to. This is just what I've experienced. Then we get to going under the surface. So what else do we have? We've got digital resources. These days, more and more people know about that because we got this thing called ebooks. Anybody here download their ebooks? Yeah, see, yeah. I love my audiobooks. I download them all. Lots of people are getting digital content now, so this is more and more kind of known, but it's still kind of in the vein of books a lot of times. But we also have our databases and other digital resources. We also have access to the internet, and I can't stress this enough, not just the access to the internet, but also the tools to use it, and we'll talk about this more very soon. We also have easy access to community resources and services, and the most important part of that is the easy access. Beyond that, We've got lots and lots of services that we provide for the community, and they are getting more and more innovative all the time. We have things that we check out, and I've got a whole bunch of examples coming out. You're probably thinking, things? What are these things? Oh, I'm going to show you. We have experiences that we will help you to enjoy, both, around town and also here. And then other ways to help folks learn and grow. So really, libraries are all about learning. We are the only city department that falls under the purview of the State Department of Education. We are all about learning. And the reason we're associated with books is because that, at one time, was where all the knowledge was. But also, these places are where the knowledge and the learning are as well. We're so lucky to live in a time where you can get knowledge from all these other places as well. So that falls right squarely in our wheelhouse as well. So we're going to do it all. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of these categories and just give you a few examples. This is where the auctioneer comes in. We'll go through really quickly. So when I talk about our digital resources, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about our downloadable books and audiobooks and those kind of things. So for those of you who said that you get your ebooks from the library, you use our Libby app? Yeah? I love the Libby app. That's so good. Occasionally I get ebooks from there. I get audiobooks from there. Yeah, it's great. It's super expensive for the library to maintain, but it is very, very worth it. We regularly at this point, for the last several years, have exceeded 1 million loans per year in this county for our Libby in Monroe County. We do a whole lot of business through Libby. That does not mean that our book circulation, physical books, has gone down. That is in addition to. So anybody that tells you people aren't reading anymore, not true. Absolutely not true. And we got the receipts on that one. So you can get your books, you can download them here, and we love it when you do. And one of the things that I actually love about that service, and a lot of people who even use that service don't necessarily know about this, is that we can add our own local content to that as well. So we work with that company to add a couple of different kinds of local content to that. One is the In This Moment chapbooks, which is locally produced. This is kind of small little pamphlets that are about local people in the Black community who are leaders. And it tells the story of these folks. And they are excellent. And we have them in print. We use them a lot, especially with our teens, as saying, look, these are some really great role models in our community. But we also make these available as digital content as well. And it's great that we can preserve that in that way and make that available to future generations in a digital format as well. Another piece of local content, and this is very local, that we have added to our online collections is the Teens Make Comics comic books that a number of our teens right here at the Central Library have created upstairs in our Imagine You studios as part of our AI comic empowerment program. So this is a group of teens that have worked with us and in a program where they tell their own story in a format that makes them into a superhero. And it teaches digital literacy skills and artificial intelligence literacy skills, which is a very important thing these days, because using AI in a responsible and literate manner to kind of know the pitfalls and know how to use that very responsibly and not just willy-nilly is very, very important, especially for teenagers, to know how to do this in a way that is useful and actually a learning experience as opposed to you just get this slop out of it. So we've got this program. It empowers these teens because a lot of times these are teens who didn't ever think that anyone would care about their story. And here they are, superheroes. And they have put this together. It is a wonderful experience for them. It teaches them very, very important literacy skills in the 21st century. And they get copies of their comic book, but also we put them into our digital collection as well. So that, again, we're preserving it, we're sharing it out in a digital format also. So I kind of love that, and that's a part of our online collections that I think a lot of people don't know about, and I think it's very important because we can pull in that local content as well. No, it's not. This is something we do here. Yes, they have wonderful programs at RIT. Yeah, but that is the question that was, is this tied to RIT? It is not, but they do have wonderful programs around that as well. Okay, a few other, can we just hold it for a second? Okay, great, I love it, but we'll come back. Okay, a couple other digital resources. We have so many, but I'm just gonna fly through a few more that are some of my favorites. LOTE for Kids is a story time program that is in multiple languages that allows kids and their caregivers to do story time together in English and another language, which is a wonderful thing for folks who are either learning English or maybe they are in a bilingual household. We've seen a lot of people where the grandparent and the child speak different languages and they can experience story time together. Wonderful. So good. So this is something that is an online resource that we have, gets a lot of use. It's just wonderful. You can learn a new language through the library with our program. Pronunciator is online, and they have a partner program that we subscribe to as well called Pro Citizen. We use this heavily with our New Americans program. It's a citizenship program. So Pronunciator is for anyone who wants to learn a new language, but it includes learning English if that is what you want to learn. But then also, Pro Citizen helps with American citizenship preparation, and a lot of people use those together in a New Americans program to help them in that process. Just a wonderful thing that we can help people with. And then Udemy I love Udemy. This is online courses in a variety of different things. Everything from like how to make Excel spreadsheets all the way through like cake decorating. It's all sorts of things. But a lot of it is technology focused, which a lot of us need some help with sometimes. You just need a little boost in, I'm not really sure how to do that technology thing. And these are very, very high quality classes. It'll walk you through, and very often it will come with some kind of certificate at the end. So at the end, you're like, oh, I did all these 7 classes in this particular program, and it gives you a little certificate that says, oh, good job, you mastered, beginning Excel, something like that. So it's very, very helpful, and at this point, this is available to everyone in Monroe County through us. And when you have things like that, and I just scratched the surface right there, but all of these things, that means that your library, we're open 24 hours. You can go online, you can get all of this stuff, and you don't have to wait for our physical doors to open to get something from your library. Of course, it's very nice if you can come in, and if you need some extra help, you can do that, but you can get something from your library 24 hours a day. Okay, next one, let's talk about the internet. Access to the internet in 2026, I gotta get used to saying that, in 2026 is not a luxury. Let's just get that down right now. It is absolutely a necessity for people's lives. This is something that everyone needs to be able to, in many cases, get an education, to get access to health care, to apply for jobs, to do many of the things that, those of us years ago, we didn't have to do those things in that way. It wasn't available and it wasn't necessary. But now it is absolutely necessary, and access to the internet is absolutely essential for people's lives. I see this in and out every single day. And access to the internet is not just about running the wires. I will say this until I am blue in the face. It is not just about making sure the wires are run down your street where you live. You need not just the wires, you need a number of other things, and you need the tools to be able to use that. So I'm going to go through, this is my soapbox. I do this all the time. If we are going to bridge the digital divide in our communities, we need access to equipment. So that includes computers, modems, routers, all of the things, phones, I shouldn't say telephones, cell phones, whatever, all of the devices that people need to get online. You need broadband access, which includes not just that wire, that connection, but also the service. I can't tell you how many people have said, well, once they get the service in your neighborhood, and believe me, a lot of places in Monroe County don't even have that. It hasn't been profitable enough to companies, like telecom companies, to run the wires into certain neighborhoods. Well, once you get that, though, everybody's good, right? Well, I don't know about you, but the wires are in my neighborhood, but I got to pay the bill every month, right, to get that service into my house. And so that's another barrier. So people need the connection and the service. And then people need the skills to know what to do with that. You can have the computer, you can have the service come in your house, you can have the modem, the router, and all of the things to get it going. But if you don't know what to do with that, if you don't know where to get your information and what to do with it, might as well not have anything. You got to find the information, and you got to apply the information. And this is a huge lift for so many people in our community. And I have to say, that I use the word access a lot. In my definition of access, which we're going to use because I have the microphone, it's not access if it's not affordable, if it's not here where you can get a hold of it. That's what I mean by local. And if it's not something that is user-friendly enough for people to actually understand and use. If any of those things are missing, you don't have access to it. If you have to use transportation that you don't have to get to it, you don't have access. So just as an example. So that's my soapbox. I'll step down now. And I'll show you how we in libraries are trying to help that. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about right now, we are doing in our libraries in Monroe County through a program called Wired for Opportunity that we got some funding from Monroe County through some federal grant funds to fund, and we are hoping, this is the last year of those funds, that we will be able to kind of spin this off into some sustainable programming in the future. So fingers crossed on that one. Okay, so the most obvious one, this little guy, I have to include this one because it just makes me. All right, so one of these things is you can come into the library and you can get access, right? We have computers, we got broadband, we have friendly people who will help you if you need help, and they'll show you what to do, right? This is not new in libraries. We are happy to provide this, and we do recommend you do not use the mouse this way, although it is adorable. So that is a thing that is not new with us. And we find many, many ways to try to give that tech assistance. So we have, if you've been in this building and you see our tech center downstairs, busiest place in town. nine out of 10 days. It's humming down there. We give one-on-one computer help, like a coach. We do classes. We do group work. We work with Literacy Rochester to have digital navigators come in and help us with this. Lots and lots of assistance because, like I said, we've got the equipment, we got the broadband, we've got all that stuff, but sometimes what people need more than anything else is somebody to help them with those literacy skills, those digital literacy skills. And literacy is the name of the game when you're in a library. It's what we do. All right, this is where it gets good. All right, so in the last several years, this is where a lot of our business has been. Have you ever seen where one of these MiFi devices? Seen them? You've seen them? Okay. All right. They look they're about this big, right? They look a little bit like a phone. I took this picture the other day because people always ask me what they look like. So they're a little portable device that when you switch it on and you can connect to it with your device here, it provides you with an internet connection. We started getting these a number of years ago, just as a little test. Let's see if this is something we could circulate out into the community. During COVID, I hope I get the numbers right. Maybe Amy or Bruce can correct me if I get them wrong, but we bumped it up a little bit during COVID. We got an influx of funds, and we said, okay, let's bump that up to, I think, about 200 of them. We said, let's get this out into the community. People are having to stay home, and they need a connection, and not everybody has it. Took off. We've been bumping it up, bumping it up, bumping them up. As of this week, we have about 1,500 of them in circulation at RPL. We are in the process of increasing that further in our branches. We are helping the Monroe County Library System libraries out in the suburbs increase the numbers that they have, and we have not found that supply and demand kind of plateau yet. Not by far. Last time I checked, we had close to 1,500 in circulation, and we had 1,100 people waiting in line. If that's not a need in our community, I couldn't tell you what is. And the response that we've gotten from people who are using this, tremendous. People have called this an absolute lifeline. This is how I'm getting my degree. This is how I'm getting my health care because I'm homebound. This is how I'm getting, these are the comments that we're hearing. This is how I'm interviewing for jobs. This is what we're hearing. And it's just the most tremendous thing. And to my knowledge, there are a lot of different libraries that are experimenting with this, but to my knowledge, this is the biggest program that I've seen. So we're going to try our hardest to keep this going as long as we can, or until there's a better long-term solution for getting people these kind of connections in our community, because this has to happen for people. It's not a choice, it's an absolute necessity. So they go out for 3 weeks, and then we move them on to the next person. Another thing that we have been doing, and this is part of that funding that we got from the county. So there are places throughout the county where internet access is not available. And that in some of those places, there's also not good transportation to get to a place like a library where there is like wireless access and so on. If you could get to a library, you can use our wireless, that's fine. So we invested in a number of solar tables. They're actually really cool. We have the locations of these on our website if you want to check them out. And they're scattered all through public places in Monroe County. And the little awning here that you see is they have solar panels in them. And what the solar panels do is they power on the rod, what do you call that in the middle there? The pole, the post. There's a place where you can plug in your device and get power to, juice up your device. But also, one of those mobile hotspots is in there, and it can provide wireless connection all around that table. And they are getting a tremendous amount of use. So people who are in a public place are able to get Wi-Fi connection there. People are coming to parks and using the Wi-Fi there, and it's walkable for them. It's incredible. So, okay, all right, we did that. Yeah, that's a great thing. So we're gonna keep trying to maintain those and bring access to as many people as we can within our means. The last thing I'm going to talk about in this category is we talked about needing the skills, is that we have really leaned into, with this extra funding, bringing more classes to people. This is something we do anyway, but we're just bringing tons and tons of classes out into the community, not just in the libraries, but we've been partnering with churches and community centers and all kind of places to make sure that they are in lots of places where people can get to them, because we understand that transportation is a big issue for a lot of people. And we're having these digital literacy classes in a variety of different topics, everything from how to turn your computer on and use a mouse, through security, how not to get scammed online, how to fill out certain online job applications or things like that, all sorts of different classes. And the really cool part about it is that we've grouped them as a series, and if you take the entire series of classes, then at the end we give you a Chromebook, which then checks off 2 of those boxes. You've got some skills that you can use, but you also have a device that you can use to practice those skills and then take it further. And this has also been a tremendous success, because people who have taken these courses are saying the courses were worth it right there, just getting the knowledge. But now I feel like I can use the device to further my knowledge. Now I've got this device and I know what to do with it. So that is, again, we've been able to help a lot of people across the county through that program. All right. I'm going to go quickly through this one. The next category I had on here is easy access to community resources and services. And this is something you're going to see as you walk through here. So, I like this picture. This is in the Rundle building across the street here. Isn't that beautiful with the sun coming through? The library is a place, and I'm sure you all know this, but the library is a place where people just go and be. I know I've done that. You can just go, and there's not a lot of places you can do that these days. It's just go, hang out, read a book maybe, or play on your phone, or just, hang out. And people do that. We see that all day long. People are just hanging out at the library. So one of the things that we know is that we are a trusted place in the community. People feel safe here. People feel welcome here. And they're hanging out here anyway. All sorts of people, all ages, all backgrounds. We see literally everybody in the library, and sometimes just hanging out. And so what we have done is said, hey, since people are here anyway, and sometimes those folks are in need of different services in the community, let's bring those services to where they are already, which is here. Yay! So I just want to run through a couple of the partnerships that we have, especially here, since this is a big hub for the entire county, that you might see as you walk through this building today. So one of our big partnerships that has been fantastic is the Father Tracy Advocacy Center. So the Father Tracy Center I see Antoinette in the back going like this. Yes, we love them, don't we? They come in a couple of days a week here, and they just hang out. And folks who need their services, they are social workers, and the word has spread that they are here. And folks who need easy access to the services that they provide, they show up. They show up because they feel safe here. They know that we are here to help them and not judge them. They know that the Father Tracy folks, same thing. They're here to help them and not judge them. They show up, and yesterday when I walked through and they were in here, they had 4 social workers sitting at desks. They had people at each desk that they were helping and a line down the hallway. If that's not a success, I can't even, because these are all folks in the community who needed their services and may not have been able to either get to them in their offices or, for whatever reason, they might have not known that that was a place that they could have gone. So it brings visibility, it puts it where they already were. We love it. We love everything about it. Another thing that we do here is on a different day of the week is we have a program here called LROC, Library Resource Outreach Center, and we partner with two groups, MC Collaborative and Person-Centered Housing Options, and that is a group, these 2 groups, they have kind of open office hours where they will help people who need assistance with housing, food, clothing, healthcare, case management, all of these things. And again, folks know, because this has been in place for a number of years, come to the library on Thursdays if you need these services. Place you know, place you trust, place you can get to. There's a bus stop outside. And again, we usually have to set up chairs because there's people waiting to talk to these folks. Recently, we have set up a partnership with the County Department of Human Services. They come a couple days a week to our 4th floor as a satellite location. They have their regular location, which is only really accessible if you have a car, or you take an Uber, which costs a fortune. And so they've been experimenting with satellite locations that are easier for folks to get to, and one of them's upstairs. We have a partnership also upstairs here with the CASH program, which helps folks who qualify financially with filing their taxes. Tax season on our 4th floor is wild because folks are coming and they're getting this valuable service from this wonderful program on our 4th floor. Again, people are here. Let's make it convenient for folks. We often bring in health partners, like we'll get the mobile mammography van, we will get different kinds of screenings. I think there's a skin cancer screening that's going to happen on our 3rd floor in a couple of weeks. We get things, and then we'll literally go around the building and say, hey, folks who are here, you're here, you want to get screened? Why not? You're here. Let's just do it. And since we were talking about health, I put the lungs in there because I walked into the building the other day and there were just giant lungs. And I was a little shocked, but it was cool. So we do these kind of things all the time and try to bring our partners in. We have all sorts of partners. This was just what I could fit on one page. So we'll say, come into our space. We have space. Come in, and since people are already here and they're hanging out and they have needs and they trust us, they don't feel judged, they don't feel unsafe, they know this is a place that they can trust, and they come for help and information. They're already here, come on down. And folks love it. So we're trying to get them an easier connection to the folks in the community who need their services. It's a great symbiotic relationship. All right. I'm going to walk you through a couple of the more innovative things that we got going on recently with services. I have to talk about the Good Phone Project. You might have seen this in the news recently. It's gotten a couple of stories. There was one yesterday. The Good Phone Project is a grant-funded program that is spearheaded by a professor at RIT. I think he's just doing this on his own, but he does work at RIT. And this is, he's taking repurposed phones and connecting them to a voice over IP, so it's an internet phone line, and putting them out there for free public usage in different places. Let me tell you, the number of people that the library see every day who don't have a phone, like not even like this, like call a phone number phone, astounding. And there were a number, after COVID, there were a number of grant programs that helped people get cell phones for a certain amount of time. Those programs have all ended. And all of a sudden we're seeing people come into like our branches. They will come in and they'll say, I need to use your phone. They just need to make a phone call. We have a phone booth downstairs that's for free public calls. People are lined up just to make a phone call. It is absolutely an essential service that payphones don't exist anymore. They are not out there. So the Lisle Branch Library has piloted one of these Good phones, and it is just absolutely taken off. It's free calls. I think there's a time limit on them, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, so there are some kind of stipulations with it. And the really interesting part is you can get a voicemail box with it. So if you have to call like a doctor or something like that, they can call back and leave you a message. So this seems so far to be a very big success. So I'm like, a phone for you and a phone for you. Like, let's Oprah this and get it everywhere. But those are the things that many of us take for granted. And it's absolutely a thing that we as the library can help people with if we have good partners in our community like this. All right. Did you know a lot of your libraries have notaries? I know. If you find out one thing you didn't know today, then my job is done. Okay, I will say not all of them and not all the time. So call ahead. You know, not everybody can be everywhere at all times. So call ahead, but you might just luck out. I'm going to give a quick shout out to our Business Insight Center. This is one that I stress a lot of times when I talk to like our business people in the community. Did you know that there's a wealth of information here for business owners, entrepreneurs, services like market research and databases and helping you find grants and connecting you with patent services, which cost a fortune. And if you work for a big company, that's no big deal. But if you are a small business owner, that's make or break. Come to us, we will help you. And one of the things that in recent years has been a very big deal is helping people with breaking into the cannabis industry, which sounds a little weird, but that is a big industry that is highly, highly regulated. And for folks to get involved in that industry, there is a lot that goes into following the laws, making sure that the materials are handled safely, and that the laws are all and the regulations are all followed properly. You can't just like set up a dispensary. You have to follow everything very, very carefully in order to have a legal and safe operation, and to empower people to have those kind of businesses in our community, and not just have outside folks coming in and selling in our community, but actually let people in our community have a business out of that. Then we want to be able to support people in doing that legally and following all those regulations, and that has been something where we've been able to help a lot of people as well. And we're doing this, bringing these things to people as much as we can outside of our walls. We'd like to do more of that. We'll stick it on a bike, and we'll bring it to you. Or, have any of you seen this around town? Okay, RPL Go. This just started last year. This is our new mobile library, which is, it is not a bookmobile. Although some of us slip and call it a bookmobile sometimes. But unlike the old-timey bookmobiles, which were these big giant things and then you got on to get your books, this turns it inside out. This is smaller so it can get into neighborhoods better, and it can get into more places. And instead of people getting on to get materials, we roll everything out and we can set up a library anywhere. So we set up, and it can be books, it can be, we have mobile classrooms, we can pull out cases of laptops and run a computer class. We can pull out what are those little lily pad things that we have that we could have a story time? You know, we bring it down to Highland Park and do story time. We can do all sorts of things, but it's basically like pulling the library out of it rather than bringing people into it. And so this is something you might see around town, but this is something that came out of feedback from the community saying that we can't always get to the library because transportation in the city of Rochester is sometimes a barrier. Yeah, sure is. And one of the things that's really cool about this is, yes, this has Wi-Fi, and it has printing and faxing, because that's one of the biggest things that we heard from our community is one of the big needs. Where else in your community can you go print and fax from? I'm waiting. Yeah, literally nowhere. Okay. Let's get to those things that we circulate. Okay, so books. You know how you can come in and check out a book? Have you heard about that? Yeah, okay. Libraries across the country, across the world, have said, let's take that model and expand it to other stuff. We don't always have to buy the things we want to use. Why? I don't know about you, but I have a garage and a basement full of stuff that I bought to use once. That's just how it is. So, I'm going to go through some of the things that RPL and or our surrounding libraries have, and I am not going to scratch the surface. How about some equipment, right? Do you need a projector, a slide projector, a VHS, a DVD player, something like that? We've got a whole DVD collection out here, and increasingly nobody's got a DVD player. All right? Nintendo Switch? Some kind of video consoles? I mean, your mileage may vary by your library, but there's lots of different little devices and games and things like that that you can borrow at your library. Science kits. We have a lot of these. Teachers love this. They want to do something with their class and teach it in a hands-on way, but they don't have a budget, and we don't want our poor teachers to be spending their own money on this. No, they do enough. Come borrow it, teach in your class, bring it back, and the next person can do it. These are great. CPR, education kits. These are getting a lot of use by Boy Scout groups, different things. The city is doing a Heart Safe initiative where they're trying to get lots of people in the community to learn CPR. It's an important thing. You can borrow the kits to learn it from the library. Craft kits. Anybody here ever said, oh, I'm going to learn that craft, and then you buy all this stuff, and then you do it once, and then you never do it? Yeah. Maybe borrow it from the library first, try it, and then buy the stuff if you actually decide to do it. Including the sewing machines that we have across the street. And a lot of the libraries throughout the county have this kind of stuff. Try it first, then buy the stuff. What else we got? Lots of learning kits for the kids. I took pictures of these. These are upstairs in our children's room. These are backpacks full of activities, learning activities for kids. Grandparents love these. The grandparents are coming or the grandkids are coming for the weekend. What are we going to do? We're going to grab this bird watching for kids book, or kit, with the book and the little tiny binoculars, and we're taking them to the park, and we're going to do the whole thing, right? Great. I see the grandparents with these all the time. All right. You want to go fishing? We have all sorts of sports equipment. Get a fishing pole. Some of our libraries, they have like the pickleball kits. I don't know anything about pickleball, but you know, they have sports equipment. They've got all sorts of things. I think the fishing pole here, this was a girl that got this from the Chili Library, and she was just so excited that she actually caught a fish. She like sent them a picture. Yeah, all sorts of outdoorsy kinds of things. I think one of the libraries has snowshoes, all sorts of things, sporting equipment, gardening tools. I think I forgot to get a picture of gardening tools, but get outside. Get outside, we'll help you. Let's see what else. Musical instruments. Ernie loves his ukulele. Got musical instruments. The Charlotte Library has dulcimers. Yeah. Games. Did you know my husband really likes like board games and stuff? Some of those things are expensive. I don't want to buy those and then find out he didn't like it. It's like $70. I'm not doing that. No. But we'll play it a few times and then decide if we want to buy it. All right, one of my favorites, framed prints. Yes, some of you know about this. Across the street, we have a ton of them. We get folks, it's artwork. We get, let's see, my favorites are realtors who come in, they're staging a house, and they want to put the artwork on the walls. All right, sure. School plays, right? We gotta have this on the wall. Sometimes it's just, oh, I have a new office at work and I just want some artwork, my new house, whatever, I don't have time to decorate. Great, let's get you some artwork, let's spruce up your space. And those circulate, people take them, they come in, they change up their artwork, it's fantastic. We will even, this is at the Winton Branch Library, and I think this is so cute because if you see the painting behind them, they recreated it. We'll even give you an umbrella if it's raining. We'll check out an umbrella to you. But the piece de resistance in this county, if I do say so, is the Lincoln Branch Toy Library. If you have not been there, you are missing out. The RPL Lincoln Branch, the entire back portion of this is a toy library. I took this picture a few weeks ago when they had an open house for teachers, educators, and at that time they had 1,928 different toys. And this is not junk. This is not your yard sale. This is stuff that has been curated for different kinds of play. This is games, this is things, pretend play, this is creative play. And they check this out to anybody in Monroe County. So we get grandparents, we were talking about that, grandparents, we get people who honestly just can't afford these expensive toys. I mean, toys are expensive and the kids get tired of them immediately. We get teachers who want them for their classrooms. Incredible. And there's nothing like this anywhere else that I have ever found. It is so cool. And the kids come in, they play with the stuff, or people check it out. It's amazing. My favorite toy in there is the tiny little washer and dryer. There's always kids playing with this. They're always doing laundry. I'm like, remember that when you're a teenager? You know, but it's so great. And what is very magical about this all is that at least at RPL and many of our suburban libraries is that we don't charge late fines anymore. Thank you. And the word hasn't gotten out about this with some folks. There's no reason that we want to charge you for bringing it in a day late. We just want our stuff back. Now, if you keep it for a long time, we're going to send you a bill. You know, you keep the book, we're going to say, you know what, pay us for that book because you own it now, right? You can still bring it back. We'll take the bill off of your account. We just want our stuff back so we could give it to somebody else. But we're not going to penalize people for keeping it a day or two late. So please just bring our stuff back. All right. I'll buzz through the last few things that I have here. Do you know about our VIP passes? Yes. We have VIP passes that will allow you either free or reduced rates at many different local venues and attractions, museums, parks, different kinds of venues that you can go and enjoy yourself. So the Memorial Art Gallery, or we have Empire passes for state parks and so on. These are fantastic. I just used the Jiva one to get a discount for one of their upcoming shows. These are at all of the different libraries in Monroe County. Check them out, see what they have. You will save yourself some money and have a wonderful time. And some of them we have started to make VIP Explorer kits to go with them. So not only can you go to the Memorial Art Gallery, but you can check out a little kit that'll give you stuff to help you enjoy the experience more. These are kind of an experiment. We'll see how they go, but you might want to see if they have that as well. In terms of other experiences, we are becoming more active with the Rochester Fringe Festival. This is a scene from, we did Spooky Stories in the Stacks this year. It was so much fun, where our historic Rundle building, we opened it up after dark, and our staff dressed up and told potentially true ghost stories in the spookiest parts of our building, and it was super fun. I thought Brandon here did a great job telling a very spooky story that may or may not have happened on that very spot. We are doing more walking tours, bringing the history of our city to you right where it happened. They are so popular and they book out immediately, so if you see one announced, grab it. And they are so popular, but we can't do them in the winter because Rochester. We've started a complement to that, which is our storied saloons, where we choose historic places, which typically are a tavern of some sort, or a restaurant, and that has some historical significance, and we go and we tell the story of that and the history of that location. And if you happen to want to have a beverage or a snack while you are there, that is up to you. But they are very fun, and again, they fill up like instantly, because people in Rochester love to learn about their history. It's fascinating. We're getting out there in the community, bringing so much of our learning experiences out there. Story times are happening in the park. Science stuff is happening out at night with our star parties. We're trying to get stuff that's all of our learning experiences out. It's great if you come into us, but we're going to come out to you. You can't escape us. A couple last things before we wrap up here, if you don't mind. So what we've said before is that there's many different ways to learn, and one of the best ways is through experiences. So I do want to share, because FFRPL would be mad at me if I didn't, because this was very due to them, is that one of the great experiences, and let's talk about innovative things, is that we are trying to do more about bringing experiences that are truly unique to our teens. And our teens are, we're trying to expose them to new options in terms of what their career options might be. So we did a very risky experiment last spring with a program called Aviation Station, where some of our staff members, including Mr. Carter, who's in this picture here, came and said, hey, let's put some kids in airplanes. And I said, say what? Wait, what? And we did it, thanks to our friends and foundation. These kids spent a couple of weeks learning about different careers in the aviation field, everything from meteorology to airplane mechanics and engineering and pilots and everything. And they learned all about it, and they had a great time doing it, and they literally flew planes. And along the way, they built confidence. They learned about careers that they never thought could be something that was for them. And said, now we are looking at ways that we can bring different experiential learning to our teams so they can explore different fields and different career opportunities in the future. So yeah, let's do that. You don't have to learn everything out of a book. You can learn things out of experiences. You can also learn things from games. We have a very active esports team. This is Victor. He's the 3-time world champion in Mario Kart. I know, right? Amazing. And that is actually a very viable way for kids to learn and to grow and actually get scholarships these days. I had no idea, but this is a thing. And it's a great way to make connections as well. We're coming up on our 4th annual Teens of the Central Library versus RPD, what do they call it, the tournament, and the Mayor's Madden football sports tournament. That should be an interesting one. We're getting the teens doing art. They're doing murals. They're doing ceiling tiles. I have basically said, if there is a square inch in any of our libraries that you want to decorate, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Because these kids want to be creative. They want to try new things. Bless them. Bless them. Do it. They are learning the whole entire time. They're making connections, and they're loving their community. So we want to give everybody new experiences, engage them creatively, and have them make new connections within the community and have fun. This is another one. I love these little babies. They're so cute. And all of it is in the name of helping our community thrive, because that's what we're here about. We're not here about books. We're here about helping our community be the best that it can be and live up to its aspirations. So how do you find all this stuff? Okay, well, we got our websites, right? We got our social media. We have newsletters. Each of the libraries in the county have all of their websites. You can come visit us, as you did today. But number one, talk to us. We are lovely people. Look at all these beautiful faces. These are people, this is from our staff day at RPL this year. These are people who love what they do, and they love their community. And a simple conversation with any of them, they love nothing more than to tell you about all of this, because they're very proud of what they do for their community. So just have a little talk with them. All right, are there any questions anybody has? Do you have a question? Yeah. Yes.